Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Super discussion. Today, I am once again joined by MJ from Geekless TV. MJ, please say hello.
Hello.
God, I can't even with all of you people. Anyway, hopefully he livens up a little bit. This is our thing now, apparently. Anyway, guys, so we are going to do a discussion today about something that MJ and I were talking about. It's a little interesting discussion. There's something weird to me about Zamasu's no mortal evil plan type of plan, right? Like, or, goal or achievement at this point. And it's weird to me because if you've been following the manga, if you've been following the anime and all this stuff, you realize that Zamasu has actually been, going around in Trunks' timeline and killing all the Kaioshin, which in turn kill all of the gods of destruction. And the weird thing to me about that is, why is it that seems to be a thing? I mean, obviously we've gotten confirmation here and there that Whis is not a deity, at least in that sense. So none of the attendants are deities, at least if that is still somewhat canon. And so my thought is like, okay, if the plan is to exterminate all mortals because they do not compare to gods, then what's the deal with killing all the gods? I mean, I guess there's one kind of concept that he's actually doing this so he can have no one kind of challenge him. He could do whatever he wants and he can go about making his plan. But still, what's the main point of killing all the gods if you're making the universes free of all mortals for the gods? I mean, it just seems like a stupid idea. MJ, what are your thoughts on that, man?
It is kind of stupid, and it goes against what we were told of, because if I remember correctly, he wanted to create a utopia for the gods, you know what I mean? He was kind of doing, I think this line is actually in the Dragon Team subs and in one of Herm's summaries. I think the line states, I could be wrong though, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, guys. He states that he's doing the gods' bidding. You know what I mean? So he's doing what the gods don't have the nutsack to do, basically, and that's get rid of the mortals. And we know this because of Kawasi, the way he was like, oh, there has to be a balance between good and evil, You can't go around and just start blowing everybody up, because that would disrupt the whole balance,
Mm-hmm.
But now we've gotten confirmation that this dude just went to every universe, chopped up every Kaioshin, which in turn killed all the gods of destruction, and then, hopped back to Universe 7 and now is doing what he's doing. Or the Universe 7 Future Trunks timeline and doing what he's doing. And it's kind of like, I mean, why? I guess the general answer would be, like you just mentioned, he didn't want anyone to oppose him. He didn't want anyone from the universe, the Kaioshin of Universe 5 coming and being like, hey, you shouldn't be doing this, man. You're messing up here. But then again, it's just like, okay, why didn't he just let that happen? If he's trying to create a world or worlds, universes that are rid free of these mortals, these insects, these ningen that he hates for the gods, but he's killing all the gods. It's just gonna be him and Zamasu, which again, I'm telling you, man, there's a little something there. I'm pretty sure a lot of people ship them now. So I don't know what you call it, self-cest, right? Because it's not incest. It's like you're in love with yourself. So
it's asexual.
But I don't know, bro. Like they really it went against their whole plan, which in my opinion, I thought was kind of I was hoping this would lead to a judgment, him getting judged, or his final judgment by the Omni King, where it's like I would have killed to kind of see a scene. I know people would think this is completely anticlimactic, and that's fine, guys. It's just my opinion. Remember that. Don't kill me in the comment section. But it would have been cool to see, I don't know, maybe Omni King pops out, right? And it's like a grand entrance. I'm talking lights everywhere, lightning, freaking out, and then Black tries to run, and the attendants corner him, and then the Grand Priest corners him, and then they make him kneel before, and then he's just like, I was doing this for us, this is I was doing it for us, the mortals are gone, I should have made the world a better place, and then the Omni King judges him, and he vaporizes him, I think that would have been a cool scene, because it goes against what his mindset is, his deluded mindset of no mortals for the universe, and that being a utopia, a paradise for the gods, when in turn he's wrong. that's not what it is. Gowasu already told him that's not how things work. You got to keep a balance. So I thought it was going to lead up to something like that, but with him destroying all the gods, destruction and creation, it kind of left me a little in the wilderness on that, Like, I'm not too sure what you think of all this, but I definitely agree with you. It kind of goes against what we were told about him, what even came out of Black's mouth, Like, it kind of goes against all that. So, I mean, I'll throw it back to you.
Honestly, I feel like that's kind of a cool concept. I mean, obviously, we did another video, which will probably be up on your channel by the time that this video goes up, so I'll link it in the description section below. But the one thing I'm thinking about when we actually look at that, I like the idea of, like, basically Zeno coming down and giving Zamasu his ultimate final judgment and then judging him on that sense. But the reason for this video, basically, is if that doesn't make sense, if Black's own kind of weird, diluted kind of sense of justice doesn't make sense to anyone but him, then I want to start looking to this kind of a religious parallel in terms of what they're trying to go with this story. And it just always kind of seemed weird to me from the very beginning of this arc. And I remember I'm pretty sure I've told MJ about this, although we weren't talking around that time, but I told almost everyone else who I'd been talking to, and I even made videos about it in terms of why is Trunks, or how is it that Trunks and Bulma and Mai and all these humans are still left alive on this planet from a year? Like, why is it that Goku Black has been kind of torturing the Earth for an entire year and just kind of taking his time killing it? But when he first showed up on Earth, he was just like, I've killed multiple planets and everything, and I'm just here to create justice and blah, blah, blah. But we got something really interesting in episode 61 of Dragon Ball Super where basically Black instructs, he's like, none of this would have happened if Trunks did not break the rules of living, or the rules of life and everything. He is as much as Goku and Vegeta want to be gods at this point, or they are gods, which makes like some Zamasu actually more angry at this point, the fact that like mortals can step up to gods. But also, if we think about it, before anyone was going Super Saiyan God or anything, Trunks was the one who was basically living the life of a god. We've seen Whis have some kind of a temporal distortion, he can turn back time, but gods have time rings, they can go back, they can go forward into the future. They have almost control of time. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to be very, very lenient with it. They're not supposed to be taking this to any extreme or whatnot. But knowing that Trunks, the ultimate sinner, at least in Black's eyes, like, he is seen, or he was the first who completely created this time loop and all this stuff, that Trunks was the first person in history to try to play God, the first mortal, and it's angered him. Not so much anyone else being God Key or anything, but he took the destiny that was already written for him and everyone he loved, and went against all of it and decided to play God, went out and changed everything. So, personally, they can sit around, they can sit around and go, look, this is a zero mortal plan. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm trying to do. But personally, I think that what this is kind of a religious parable or a parallel story, where we have basically, if you know your religion at all in terms of like the Bible or something, that one of the reasons Lucifer actually stood up to God and created his own army because he felt that the God, or God himself, was actually preferring the life of mortals over the angels, and he felt that they were given freedom, God loved them unconditionally and everything, and all this kind of stuff. So he kind of overtook, and his idea was, we deserve to be respected more. We are the ultimate beings. We are much better than them. So he was able to, he was uprising. It kind of took a bad turn for him, and then he was kind of relegated to hell. But in the same light, basically, it looks like, at least at this point, Black has kind of had an uprising against the Order, or the gods, or Zeno, or the order of the universe as illustrated by Gowasu, and he himself has almost regulated himself to this hell. The reason he's not moving on from Earth is because he has Trunks there, who he believes is the ultimate sinner. And the reason he's not moving on from Earth, and he's taking his time, and he's basically been playing with Trunks and everyone else at this point, is because it's this illustration, or this allusion to Trunks' own personal hell, where he is living and he has to be forced to live with the death and destruction and everything that he's caused up until this point, just because he decided to be a god, just because he decided to play with time and actually change things, which he thought was better. And this is his ultimate punishment. And I know he might still, the Zero Mortal plan might still be in the cards, or this might still be what he wants, because it's the thing they keep telling us that he wants. But personally, to me, I feel like Trunks's ability, or Trunks's kind of deviation from what his destiny was and playing God and everything, and Black using that you're a sinner kind of talk and everything to be more of the reason I'm here, the reason I'm kind of egging you on and I don't want to end you anytime soon, because he had so many options, is because he wants to torture Trunks. He wants to torture this man who he feels like has dishonored the concept of God, being a god and everything else. And Goku is another good part about that too. Goku and Vegeta, because they also have, transcended to the power of a god, and they think they're a god. So the fact that he's using Goku's body and everything is just kind of more further proof for that and everything. So that's just my plan. I don't think this is exactly what it is, but you look at it at the surface, and like looking at what they've shown us for the last couple weeks, I feel that is something that would be interesting, if not necessarily explored, but if we thought about as a community, if this is what Black is literally trying to do, despite what he says.
I completely agree with you, like almost 100%. No, I do agree with you 100% on this, because when you look at it, Trunks is the ultimate sinner, and I'm pretty sure not in just his eyes, but from judging from what Black says and judging from the way Beerus and West reacted to it, you could put a murderer next to Trunks, put them on trial, and Trunks would probably get a harsher sentence because he broke the taboo of the gods. You know what I mean? This is this is like a rule that's not supposed to be broken, even amongst the gods. The gods of destruction are allowed to murder, destroy civilizations and stuff, and even like they're saying this is even like beyond us. It's like, this is a big thing, like to time travel. Like, this is not something you're supposed to do. And it's funny because when you look at it, we've seen the interactions with Zamasu and with Vegeta and Goku, and he went on to say, you've used your God-given knowledge that was given to you by us to do this, to raise your hands or to raise your fist against us, in a sense that, I guess what he meant by that, just the fact that they're stronger than him, you know what I mean? Like, they've used the knowledge that the gods have given them to become stronger to them, and I think that's one of the reasons that irritates Zamasu so much about Goku. Even in the manga, when he finds out that Supreme Kai, or the Kaioshin, needed Goku's help and friends' help to defeat Majin Buu, and he saw that as like that's a travesty. What the hell? You should have been able to deal with that. Why are these guys stronger than you? Like, he got so pissed about that. But even to Zamasu, that's nothing compared to what Trunks did. Like, he told Trunks, this is your fault. Like, I believe when Goku fell after Black defeated him, they chewed him out because Trunks was like trying to say, like, what's happening? All you're doing is just murdering people. And he was like, this is all your fault, dude. You brought them here. You know what I mean? You brought them back to help you. If they die here now, it's your fault, And I just thought that was like an interesting point. Like, they're really chewing him out for this. Like, this is all of Trunks' fault. Him breaking the taboo of gods and him living in his own personal hell. It fits. It makes sense. And you mentioned before, he had plenty of times to destroy Trunks, and he never did. He's wanting to torture him. He's wanting to kill that resistance piece by piece, maybe until he gets to Mai, and then after he gets to Mai, he'll finally put an end to Trunks, and then he'll just leave, But he's tearing this planet apart piece by piece by piece, And I love that from a story point of view. It's just awesome,
So yeah, like, honestly, I completely agree in terms of like exactly what we're looking at in terms of what this arc has really given us this far. It's not that this arc hasn't been dark from basically, tenfold of what Dragon Ball Super has given us up to this point. But if we look at it this way, if we look at how Black has just been around, and the reason he's been around for as long as he has is because he's solely trying to punish Trunks for all the transgressions that he has committed over the last couple decades, at least, of his life, and everything that he did in the past that we've actually seen, and how that's kind of coming full circle for him, or not necessarily full circle, but also just this time loop that they've created and everything that kind of revolves around that. It makes it tenfold. it's completely amazing, man. I can't believe the quality of it. This last episode, I feel like, is, if not, it hasn't changed, it hasn't turned around the entire series. We still saw like a year and a half worth of like at least a year's worth of episodes that were a little bit subpar and not necessarily what we wanted, but this arc has really taken steps and strides in order to turn this arc around. And just knowing like how deep and how dark that Dragon Ball Super has now gotten, and how we are looking at it now, like this could be the darkest arc that we've ever gotten in Dragon Ball Super, and I'm loving every single second of it.
Definitely. It's amazing. I mean, maybe for that one little flaw of the whole black stuff, you know, him talking about wanting the utopia for the gods and then killing all the gods. But overall, it's been a very amazing story put together, you know. It's really, really way ahead of anything that we got in Super thus far, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're going to cut it off there. Make sure to tell us what you think about this in the comment section below. Please make sure to go check out MJ and his channel. He makes some really awesome content. You should really go check it out. Also, subscribe to me if you haven't already, because, you know, also I make some awesome content. We make good discussions like this probably every week. I mean, it depends on what we're talking about, depends on the news cycle and everything, but I'll always try to get at least a good 2 or 3 videos out to you all every single week. Anyway, guys, we're going to catch you on the next video. Bye.